What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we're going to be rocking it out with round 2 of 4 of this mock draft. So, if you guys like mock drafts, feel free, stick around, watch round 1 if you haven't already, because I might explain what's been going on up to this point. But of course, if you guys do like all that mock draft stuff, this is the place for you. If you guys have a favorite team, Eagles fans specifically so far, Dallas Cowboys fans very soon, you guys already have an off season with your own special mock draft up. So doing that per every team, of course, drop your team down in the description below. And for ones, we're actually going to be getting to all 32 teams. Very excited for that. Without further ado, let's kick into this. Starting off with pick 33 for the Jaguars. This is between two positions right now. We got edge here, and we also have wide receiver, because obviously both are pretty potent issues, because I think George Pickens is being heavily underrated at this point. Just kind of ridiculous. A guy who is very AJ Green-esque, and there was a while where he was being talked about wide receiver 1. I wasn't in those conversations, but he's certainly a talented dude nonetheless. So I think that wide receiver could certainly be in this positional area, but I think edge might be the right move. Kingsley Enagbare is here, or Nagbari, whatever you want to call him. The guy is an outstanding athlete. He might have lost some ground to some other edge players that were in the Senior Bowl. Obviously, we saw one go already at number 12, Jermaine Johnson, who just flashed a little bit more. Arnold Ebiketie, also somebody who probably rose his draft stock a bit. Cam Thomas did not. Pretty sure he got injured day 1 and just did not play. So I'm going to be going Kingsley here still. I think he still has enough hype to him. Guy definitely is a very talented edge rusher. Just didn't win with variation, and he kind of looked pretty kind of homogenous, if you want to put it that way. I think he played inside and outside, and again, I think the potential is still there. Definitely worth the number 33 overall pick. Number 34 with the with the Detroit Lions. I think this should be a wide receiver pick all the way. Linebacker still should be in this consideration, though. Christian Harris is on the board, but I think this is a very good linebacker class. And when you can get someone like Jahan Dotson, David Bell, or in this case, I'm going to be going with George Pickens, who's going to be a true wide receiver 1. You can complement ARSB. You can complement, Khalif Raymond. There we go. I think that is going to be a lot more valuable. There are very few wide receiver 1s in this draft, or X wide receivers, if you guys would like to talk about them that way. George Pickens is probably one of the few that can be a true boundary solidified X receiver, and that's exactly what you need to look for. Number 35 with the Jets. This is a team, honestly, I would be looking at linebacker as well. I think a linebacker, corner, tight end, Kyler Elam's still on the board. Kyler Gordon's still on the board. These guys are phenomenal. I'm honestly probably going to lean more towards Kyler Elam here, just because he's a very, very nasty corner with a lot of potential. Trent McDuffie, another guy who would be phenomenal in this. It's a good corner class. It is. And I'm going to be going Kyler Elam here. I think, again, just he's too good to pass on. Very, very good corner out of Florida. Just had a little bit of an off year, and that is going to be the benefit of whoever drafts him. So Kyler Elam going to the Jets. Number 36 with the Titans. So we traded back here. Now, linebacker, you can still get someone like Christian Harris. I don't think that solves what you guys are needing and what you guys are looking for. Offensive line certainly should be in this equation. I just don't really see anybody who really fulfills what you're looking for. I do still think going after a third wide receiver like Jahan Dotson could be the right move. I do believe that. A quarterback as well. You still have some very high-end talents. And I actually totally forgot where Matt Corral went. Oh, he went to Tampa Bay. Ooh, interesting. Again, it's been a couple days since I have looked at this, because if you guys have not been following me on Twitter, you should. I have just gotten a new job, and it's a pretty big one. So I've been doing interviews and stuff for that. Pretty hard to get out content. That's why I was actually posting the Eagles mock right before midnight. So to my resident Eagles fan who's called me out for lying, did not. I made it by 20 minutes. Regardless, I think that this pick could be a QB. Carson Strong, Desmond Ridder, both of them are going to be vying for around this area. Desmond Ridder definitely improved his draft stock, looked a lot more comfortable. And again, something that I'm still factoring into my own evaluations is transition from scheme to scheme, like college to NFL scheme, and how that plays into account for these teams. So again, Bernard Ryman could be somebody who you do go after. Definitely somebody like, again, you do have, I'm forgetting the kid out of North Dakota State that you guys drafted in the second last year. He's definitely developing, becoming a true tackle. Taylor Lewan, I don't think he's the answer. I think a wide receiver 3 with like Jahan Dotson would be so good, though. He's a guy who can play inside or out. Somebody who's very, very good at one-man armying. He's very good at getting body positioning, and honestly, that's kind of the perfect guy for your system. You guys got extra picks for this. I think that going Jahan Dotson out of Penn State is the best option for you. Again, now you have Julio Jones, who's never there anyways, okay? So don't bring me that bullshit that Julio Jones is going to be always there, even if he is. You have Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. You should probably get somebody else like Jahan Dotson who's very good at positioning themselves. And if you guys don't know what I mean, he looks very similar to, I believe his name's James Lofton from the Bills in their Super Bowl run era. Just being able to get over the defender, kind of like a swim move type of thing, just to be able to get in the right positioning. He does it perfectly almost every time. That is an elite trait that you can't really teach that well because it's very timing. It's very position heavy, and he does a great job at it. 37 with the Texans. So I think linebacker should be a position to target here. Again, you did trade away Bernardrick McKinney at the start of the year, and I'm not that big of a fan of anybody else in that position. Cornerback should be among these guys targeted. Tariq Woolen, Martin Emerson certainly are on that short list for that. So basically, I'm between those two positions. Again, I know that you guys don't like when I go edge for this team this early, but this is like a semi-realistic mock draft, but it's also my mock draft. So I would still be considering that. So again, I'm looking right here at these two defensive positions, and both are stacked. I think Christian Harris might be the best value for the team. Again, I have Brian Asamoah. Actually, you know what? Houston, they do play Oklahoma doesn't come to Houston, but Oklahoma is close enough. It's right next to Texas. But I'm thinking about like the Big 12 games, of course, down at UT, Oklahoma, UT, those competitions, they see them every year. Brian Asamoah has been going off this year, by the way. I have him graded as my number 2 linebacker. Probably won't be my number 2 linebacker just because I know how damn good Devin Lloyd is. But that's not trying to shame Devin Lloyd at all. It's just trying to tell you how damn good Brian Asamoah is. Actually, I think he's going to go a lot earlier than people expect. This guy, I absolutely love him. Like, he is one of my guys in the draft. And I mean, I just like the tape last year, which I did my initial evals, and then you watch through the season, see what happens. He wasn't as high on my list, and I had guys like Chad Muma above him, but this guy's special. This guy's really special. Number 38 for the Jets. I really want to go Christian Harris here for you guys. However, I just can't do that. Isaiah Likely had some flashes, but didn't look like a solidified tight end one. Trey McBride ran like a 4.75, which is not too fast at all, but he's solidified. He's a bona fide number 1 tight end. Excellent hands, good route running. Again, I think that maybe he just needs to learn better running form, or maybe he just needs to maybe lose a little bit of weight to go to 245. Who knows? I think that he'll be perfectly fine. Just not a real good blocker. But when I look at the rest of the class, the next guy who I'm actually confident in is Greg Dulcich. And then it's Isaiah Likely. Like, just Trey McBride, you need to give Zach Wilson some help for one, but he's a bona fide tight end 1 this class. Number 39 for the Bears. So with this pick, there's a lot of routes that we could go here. Again, there's some phenomenal talents on the board. Like, I might just go Kyler Gordon for this team, even though I know we need a wide receiver. I think David Bell would be a phenomenal option, though. I think he'd be a phenomenal option for this team. We're going to go David Bell out of Purdue. Again, somebody who's a really good wide receiver too, but you have Darnell Mooney there, who is in his own right a certain type of wide receiver. David Bell complements that. And then eventually, either through free agency or you can get another large wide receiver, you can build a really good dynamic trio there. You don't have to solve it by reaching for somebody to be a wide receiver 1 when most likely they won't be. David Bell is perfect for that. Number 40, you got the Broncos still on the board. I'm stuck between 2 positions because, again, we don't do player trades up in here because, again, it kind of ruins the whole draft, and we don't know. Like, Aaron Rodgers might stay. He might go to the Broncos. Sue me if you want to. Like, honestly, I don't I don't care that much about like people not being happy with the player trades issue. Again, I'm not going to project which trades happen, which don't, just because again, it's very costly. And you're pretty much going to say, hey, it's not just one first to the Packers. We might just have some fun and do that for one of the videos when there's no new content coming out. Yeah, that would be fun. But for the mainstream normal mock drafts, not the way it's going to go. I still think Kyler Gordon could be a really good option here. Again, somebody who's he's not hyper raw, but he's raw, but a hyper athlete. That might be the best option. But when you got guys like Carson Strong who make unique style throws, that might be the best course of action. But again, we do have a second round pick. I think this one is going to go Arnold Ebiketie out of Penn State. Just a phenomenal edge rusher. Myjai Sanders, Boye Mafe, Sam Williams. These guys are just absolute beasts, and that's a position of big need for the team. 41 for the Seahawks. I think this should probably be an offensive tackle pick. Again, Nicholas Petit-Frere should be around the zone, so he probably will be. And I think that his high-end play is going to warrant him being drafted around this spot. We're going Nicholas Petit-Frere here. Number 42, is this going to be Dax Hill again? Yes, he can play deep safety. If Cam Curl does not want – oh, you guys do need a linebacker, though. Hold up. Ooh, because I'm looking – I mean, we could go round 3 for a linebacker. I know you guys need it really badly, but going Leo Chenal in round 3 should not be a problem for you. Like, if you guys have an issue with getting that, then you do you. I think having someone who can play deep safety as well as slot when Cam Curl doesn't want to is probably going to be the best case scenario. Daxton Hill, I just love that fit. So that's why I keep rocking with it. Number 43, this is going to be Jordan Davis. Per usual, you guys know what happens. Devontae Wyatt's in here too. There's just so many good talents in this class. Going Jordan Davis, leaving the Browns on the board, and they are going to be going after Devontae Wyatt, interior defensive lineman out of Georgia. I just think the value is a little too good for the team, so that's why we rock it. And we're going back to back interior defensive linemen because the Ravens are getting Perrion Winfrey, the standout of the Senior Bowl, just somebody who is absolutely amazing. Leaving Trent McDuffie and Kyler Gordon here for the Vikings. Again, good players fall all the time. I'm going to go Kyler Gordon because, again, I think that he is just a really good athlete that might put him over the top. But, I mean, at this point, you need a wide receiver or a corner. We're just running on position right now. Trent McDuffie going to the Colts, who are desperate for a corner. This is all live, but again, when there's really good players, we might just have a fire sale for them. And at number 48, we already got a wide receiver for the good old Chargers. I think that going after maybe Myjai Sanders would be a good idea. Guy is phenomenal. I have a first-round grade on the dude. So it's just – there's a lot of players that are going to be very good that are going to fall. I think that the talent is very close to each other from mid-first to probably late second. There's not much range and variability. Number 49, this should be a wide receiver pick all the way. And you got John Mechie here, Calvin Austin, Sky Moore, Wan'Dale Robinson. I think Wan'Dale might be the most electric. And again, that's with guys like Calvin Austin, who are great too. John Mechie, again, certainly could be the option. You could pick him, but I'm going to go Wan'Dale here. People are starting to sleep on him. I do not know why. Again, he's not a phenomenal wide receiver. He has the pieces to be, but the guy's just an absolute baller with the ball in his hands, especially with Alvin Kamara being arrested. You might want one of those dynamic threats. Number 50 for the Dolphins. Given the tackle situation, Bernard Ryman might not be a bad choice. Again, somebody who he could actually be another one of those tackles that move into guard. I hate to say it, but again, the tackles in this class are not great. So we go Bernard Ryman here. Max Mitchell. Wow. They have him at 150. That's just rude. I know they had a really bad Senior Bowl, but that's rude. Eagles sitting here. I mean, you go Tariq Woolen or Christian Harris. Man, like it's just picking between two really good options. Safety, unfortunately, we can go Kirby Joseph next round. I'm going to go Tariq Woolen here out of UTSA. Of course, if you guys want to see what I did in the normal one, go to that draft. But yeah, you have your off-season rebuild in quotes. Tariq Woolen, UTSA. That's the right move. Number 52 with the Steelers. Now, that honestly, Tariq Woolen might have been that choice. Martin Emerson's here. Big fan of Martin Emerson, especially to the Steelers. Offensive line should be something we do target. You could see them going after Daniel Faalele. You could. And he is one of the only pure right tackles in this draft. So definitely could be something you do. Dan Moore should not be solidified as a left tackle. That's just my opinion. And I mean, you could even see someone like Travis Jones be this pick. I would hate it because you really do need to invest in the offensive line. So I think it's down to a couple guys. Tyler Smith, Darian Kinnard, Sean Ryan, as well as Daniel Faalele. So that's the offensive line group. And then Martin Emerson. Again, Travis Jones should be in there, but I don't think he outclasses these guys. And honestly, I'm going to hate doing this, but I think Daniel Faalele is going to catch the eye of the Steelers, very similar to what they usually have as a large offensive tackle, usually over 320 pounds. Faalele surpasses that tremendously. And honestly, it's not much of a downgrade from Chukwuma Okorafor. The upside is ridiculous. You should probably take him and see what happens. 53 for the Raiders. I'm absolutely getting Martin Emerson for this squad. I mean, I'm pulling that trigger in just a heartbeat. I love him. So cheers to that. 54 for the Patriots. I think this would actually be a really good spot for John Mechie. Pair him back up with Mac Jones. We're just having good guys who have fallen, just go off the board, left, right, and center. And again, I don't plan it out this way. It's just what happens. Number 55 for the Cardinals. So at this point, I think this should be an offensive lineman. And I'm going to go Sean Ryan. I think he's best built as a guard. And Justin Pugh, he's Justin Pugh. He's not getting much younger. So we're going to be going with that one. For the Cowboys, I think this should be either Calvin Austin or it should be an offensive lineman like Tyler Smith or Jamari Sawyer. And I am going to not spoil anything because this was not the pick, but we're going to go Tyler Smith out of Tulsa, somebody who originally played left tackle, but he's going to be playing left guard in the short term, which I think he should for a good amount of time until he gets comfortable being out at left tackle. So Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith are going to be solidifying that left side of the defensive offensive line. Just love it. I love that potential. My number 32 guy in the class. 57, we got the Bills, and this is Travis Jones. Plug the middle with this beast of a man. I love it. Absolutely freaking love it. Number 58 for the Falcons. I'm down to two positions. I'm down to a wide receiver, Calvin Austin, Sky Moore, Jalen Tolbert, or we could even go with edge here. You got Boye Mafe, Sam Williams, Drake Jackson. All these guys are phenomenal. Cam Thomas. I still think, honestly, that Cam Thomas falls. I do. Just a weird feeling. Or we could go running back. Again, there are running backs on the board. I think Breece Hall would be a phenomenal option for this team. And I can't. Honestly, the running back class is pretty weak, so it is actually top heavy. I'm going to go Breece Hall here out of Iowa State, just somebody who is an elite vision expert, good change of direction, all that stuff. I do love Breece Hall. Number 59 for the Packers. This is going to be an edge player, and this is going to be Drake Jackson out of USC. Lock it in. And number 60 for the good old Buccaneers. I think that this should be a corner pick probably. Looking at the corners, Kobe Bryant's the next best one. So I think that they might want to replace the running back position. And for that, it's either going to be Kenneth Walker or Isaiah Spiller. And I also can see a trade back here because there are two quarterbacks on the board. Three, technically. I think Bailey Zappi has lifted his draft stock quite a bit. Doing a quick little inventory check here to see if anybody crazy is falling. Again, you got Christian Harris here as well. So I can see a team moving up for him. And I think a team should. That team being the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I really can't see the Buccaneers wasting this pick. It doesn't make sense to me. So Buccaneers are going to be trading with the Lions. Again, you have so much draft capital that sending in a 6th-round pick to be able to move up 6 spots makes sense. Again, Tampa Bay doesn't have their 6th-round pick, and that's going to be a good spot for them. So this is going to be Christian Harris out of Alabama. Yes, sign it up because that is a steal of a pick. 61 for the Niners. This is going to be a boundary corner all the way. The question is, who is it? I'm going to be going the lockdown corner out of Cincinnati, Nakobe Bryant. Yes, just you need boundary corners. That's the right way to do it. Number 62 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that this should probably be an edge pick. I do. And whether it's Cam Thomas, I think Boye Mafe is going to be the guy, dude. I think he is. Big, explosive, athletic. Obviously, he's on Feldman's freaks list. That is going to be the right move. Right tackle probably should be a priority here, though, for the Bengals. So for me, we missed out. Max Mitchell's here, but he's going to be falling a little bit. Darian Kinnard might be a very fun guy to add to this squad. Should not play guard. He's a true right tackle. And I honestly would take my shot on him. 325 pounds, 35 and 3/8 inch arms. That is the right move for the franchise. He was up at 340 pounds. Maybe he can get up to 330 again with the right programming. You need to invest in the offensive line somewhat. Darian Kinnard is not an interior offensive lineman. There's no reason to be thinking that. I don't know why TDN ever thinks that. He sucks every time that he does anything, either on the interior in one-on-ones or on the exterior doing stuff that, well, he should be doing if he's a guard. He was complete. I always have this in my draft notes. He is only in a right tackle. He's not an interior. But regardless, number 64 with the Broncos, this very well might be Carson Strong. And we've already gotten linebacker, which I'm very happy to see that, because Marcus Jones might be my next guy I get. I love Marcus Jones. Carson Strong's the guy. So we're going to end off the draft right there. Come back for round 3 and your team's specific offseason videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.